All right, for our second video, we're going to move on to our dividing decimals with powers of 10 less than 1. Okay, and so this is going to be very similar to multiplying in the sense that it's still fraction rules. So if you remember, when we divide fractions, your answer actually gets bigger. So it's the opposite with fractions. So basically, what we are going to do is we are going to take the amount it cost, and we're going to then divide it by how much each of the crickets costs, which in this case is 10 cents, written as 0.1 or 0.10, doesn't matter. 0.1 is also acceptable. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our $1, and then we are going to divide it by how much the cricket costs. You can either write it like this or like this, 0.1. Okay, and we're going to use the same process of finding how many spots do I need to move my decimal point as we did for multiplication. So I'm going to count how many spots after the decimal my 1 is in. And in this case, it's just 1 spot. Okay, there's no 0 in front of it. If there is the 0 after it, remember we do not count that. We're only counting where the 1 is. Okay, so I need to move my decimal place 1 spot to make the number bigger. So in the direction that makes the number bigger will be to the right. So I will move my decimal point 1 spot to make it between the two zeros, making this 10. Okay, now I'm going to show you why it works like a fraction by using a fraction. So I need to write $1 in terms of tenths. I know that if the numerator and the denominator are the exact same, then my numerator, okay, is going to be the same as my denominator because it'll equal 1. So I've got 10 over 10 divided by 1/10. And remember, when we divide, we do keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep 10 over 10. To change the division to multiplication, I'm going to flip my 1/10 to be 10 over 1. I'm just flipping it, switching which side they're on. Then I multiply straight across. 10 times 10 equals 100. 10 times 1 is 10. Okay? So ideally, because this is a division problem, it would be 100 divided by 10, which is, you think about 100 divided by 10. 10 times 10 is 100, so equals 10. And that's why it works, which gives you our answer both here and here, 10 crickets. Okay? And then for the next one, we've got our 330. I'm going to write this in a different color and just so you can follow along a little bit better. We've got $3.30, and we're dividing that by our 10 cents. Okay? And again, if you have a 0, remember we're not counting that. There's 1 space. It's 1 space to the right of the decimal. Our 1 is 1 space to the right of the decimal. And therefore, we are going to move our decimal point 1 spot to make our number bigger, which means it needs to go to the right. It should be between the 3 and the 0, which gives us the number 33. Okay? And again, I can show you how this works. This time what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to take the decimal out. And I'm going to write 330 over 10. Okay? And then I'm going to divide by 1/10. And you'll do the same thing for $5.20. You'll write 520 instead of, you just take the decimal out. Okay? 330 divided by 10. And again, this is fractions. So we're going to do this exact same thing. Copy or keep 330 over 10. Change division to multiplication. And we're going to flip our last one, 10 over 1. And then multiply straight across. I definitely made a mistake. This needs to be over 100. My apologies. It doesn't work the same as this one up here because you have to put it over where the very last digit is in, and this is the hundredths place. So this needs to be 100. Okay. You could make it in terms of tens, but then your top would have to be 33 over 10. So you're either writing 33 over 10 or you're writing 330 over 100. I apologize for that mistake. So we now have 330 times 10. 30, there's 1 0, it's going to look like I added a 0. 100 times 1. Okay, or you're doing 33 over 10 times 10 over 1, which gives you 330 divided by 10. Okay, these should give you the same exact answer because, again, it's division. So if I divide by 10, moving my decimal place 1 in this direction because it is a whole number, it is more than 1. So it's like normal division, your answer gets smaller, giving it 33. Okay, or I'm dividing by 100 on this one. Need to move my decimal 2 spots. Smaller because, again, larger than 1. 2, and it also gives me 33. So here you've got 33